I guess I want to start off by mentioning why we're here. We're essentially a community with a shared treasury of 30,000 ETH, and we're here to inspire you guys to come and build on Nouns, and we'll fund you and provide you all the open source software and public domain artwork you could need. And I guess as an outcome of today's talk, if any of you want to follow up a conversation, meet us over at our booth in the main sort of conference area outside. And to sort of say a little bit about what we're going to talk about as a group, I'm here with a bunch of builders who are doing things on top of Nouns, me included. We range from 12 years to, I don't know, 50 or something.
45, mate.
Yeah, 45, Ooh. Round up. I'm only joking. But yeah, I guess there's a bit of a common misconception with nouns because it's expensive to buy a noun. But you have to remember the people that buy the nouns are just the ones providing the capital for the rest of the community to have a good time. So we build all sorts of things like protocols and public goods and rebuild skate parks and do Super Bowl commercials, and we've done a beer with Bud Light, and not for little Purpberry, but we've done all sorts of things. And I guess nouns are people, places and things. So today I'd like to talk about the people that are involved and share a little bit about the things we do. So I guess I should start off by introducing everyone, and then I'll share a little bit about what I've done on Nouns, and then we can sort of cycle through and everyone share their story. So to my right here, we have Lil Purpberry. I'd love everyone to give her a round of applause. She was a little bit nervous for today, but fortunately her father is getting a tattoo in response to her actually being on stage. So a little bit more, of the Nouns glasses, the noggles. Okay, and then next we got the Swami, who is Lil Purpberry's father. And then we have Mr. Boney, who's well known for the Boneys, an early riff on the Nouns.
And the Bone Zone.
And the Bone Zone, yep, in the Bone Zone. And then we have Jarmen, who's a Nouner. And then we have Bendodhi, who's everywhere and involved in everything. And then we have Goldy, who was recently funded to basically pivot his well-known film studio here in Melbourne to being a Nouns studio for a year. That's exciting, but he'll tell you more about that. And as for me, I'm Gami. I'm Nouns 189 and 401. So 189 is the first skateboard head. 401 was a boombox. And I've been funded by Nouns DAO to fork the DAO and create Gnars DAO, which is at gnars.com. And for the Americans listening, that's gnars.com. And we focus on funding extreme sports. We have recently done a lot of work in Brazil. We installed a giant pair of Nouns glasses in the Praça 15 town square to celebrate 10 years since the legalization of skateboarding. We had over 1,000 skateboarders turn up for the event. And what we do is we contribute public goods to the communities where our community members come from. So we're giving back to the places that got them their start by contributing things so that they can go on and give back to their community and uplift the people that help them get where they are today. A big claim to fame, I guess, is Bob Burnquist. He's like the second most famous skater after Tony Hawk. He's a member of our DAO, votes in our governance, and we do all sorts of collaborations. So without further ado, it's not about me. So I thought, who would like to go next and say a little bit about what they've been doing on Nouns? And then we'll wrap up at the end to sort of invite everyone to come and learn more in person.
Well, I guess my journey started with Gnars. I was watching Nouns, but once I realized the power of the protocol being forked and then doing stuff in real life, that was really displayed with Gnars, and that gave me that cultural relevance to get involved. And from there, there's so many things have happened, but one of the main ones, I guess, would be the Nouns Square. Like, Nouns itself has shut down the Discord now, and it's cool to have like a spot where you can learn about all different angles of the Nouniverse. So yeah, we do a daily show on Twitter where you can learn about, like, I guess every different extension. They all have different shows as well. noun on our Twitter. You know, we're
And it's part of the countdown at the end of the daily auction, right?
exactly, yeah. So
Yeah.
we're celebrating the daily auction and play games during that time, give away ETH. We onboard artists to, you know, people that don't typically have a lot of money in a lot of areas can do amazing artwork. And, you know, we do these art contests daily as well.
You mentioned daily auctions. That's how we pool our ETH together. So
Exactly.
we run a daily auction for an NFT that's fully on-chain on Ethereum, and then all the funds
Might
go
be a
to the
hard
treasury. Yeah. Just thought I'd add that for context.
Yeah, and part of it also we focus on governance through Nouncil, which is the Nounish Council. Most of us here are actually on Nouncil, or Noun as one or the other. And so we all participate in governance, whether it's as an owner or if we're delegated nouns from other noun owners. Yeah, I guess that's like kind of the core aspects. And I think that the best way to kind of introduce what this is like an open protocol it's permissionless, but it's also CC0 artwork and open source code. So you can bootstrap a whole entire community with these glasses basically, and you can copy paste the whole lot and then bring your own little angle to it. So you can use it for any niche you want. The thing I'm excited about is to see where all of this keeps going. You know, so far it's, you know, we've all heard it before, but it's so early for what we're doing here. It's, you know, it's only just over a year old, and yeah, it's. I think it's going to be an exciting journey ahead.
You mentioned a little bit about the CCO artwork, or CC0. I was just wondering from the crowd, is anyone familiar with CC0? Yeah, I think we heard Kevin Rose talk a little bit about it earlier. Essentially, when it comes to crypto art and NFTs, it just makes sense because you want a meme to spread as far and wide as possible without having to try and enforce all these IP rights. And the fact of the matter is, like, if you buy something that's governed by certain IP rights, the people who own those rights can always change it. But with public domain, once it's in the public domain, that's it. So that's something, I guess, that probably brings us to a good conversation from Mr. Boney.
I couldn't tell if you were looking at me or was someone else then.
I'm actually just looking to one side. Which side?
Yeah, hey everyone, Mr. Boney from the Boneys here. Yeah, we're a small CC0 collection of little skeleton characters based on the nouns. I just want to, you know, make it clear, I don't own a noun, but I've been able to build on top of nouns and create like a project and pretty solid community around it. Don't be scared of nouns, like talking, sorry, I don't know which.
No, go for it, the louder the better.
Yeah, don't be scared of nouns. Like, sure, they go for a lot each day. And I've been talking to a lot of people out there, and when I tell them, you know, how big the treasury is or how much they go for each day, they're like, oh shit, that's, you know, sorry, Blueberry. That's
You have to get a tattoo now.
Yeah, that's way out of my, you know, reach. But the fact is, there's so much more to the nouniverse than the nouns itself. And if you can build, yeah, the assets are CC0, so you can pretty much take anything and build whatever you like with it, which is what I did. And yeah, I think Ben mentioned before, you're essentially bootstrapping an existing community. And yeah.
No, but that's a good segue actually into touching on the Swami and his daughter, little Purpberry, because I guess we'd be interested to know, since we've heard a story about someone building on the art, how does a 12-year-old get involved in nouns, and how did you make that happen?
Yeah, good question. I only got involved in NFTs probably about a year ago, and it was something that I found I could do with my kids. You know, we could spend time on weekends and look through different collections and make a decision together on what we liked. You know, both my kids really love art, and Blueberry, you know, really took a liking to pixel art. And at the time, she was looking at projects like Nouns and CryptoPunks, neither of which we could afford. And we didn't know at the time that you don't actually need to own a noun in order to participate in the ecosystem. She came across a project called Noun Punks, which is a derivative of nouns and CryptoPunks. It was pretty affordable, so we picked up a couple of those. She downloaded a pixel art program and just started playing around and toying around with the PFP and making it her own version in her own style and with colours that she liked, and wanted to share it with people. So I set up a Twitter account for her that we managed together. She did some tweets. We dropped some of her artwork into the project Discord, and people liked it and gave her a lot of encouragement. And she went on to saying, hey, I want to do mashups of other people's PFPs, and initially sent it to them as JPEGs. But pretty soon after, she was asking me, how do I mint these as NFTs and send it to people? So we jumped onto OpenSea. We learnt how to use a shared contract to mint, and she was airdropping stuff to people. And I think soon after that, it didn't take her long to come up with her first collection without knowing that she was actually building on top of nouns and proliferating the brand and the meme, until one of the co-founders of the Nouncil, which Bendodhi mentioned, contacted me and said, hey, I think it'd be a great idea to get her involved and put in an application to be a Nouncil member where she can learn and vote and participate in the DAO. So we've been involved in Nouns and Nouncil now for about 6 months. We get on weekly calls. We learn about different proposals that are being put up to the DAO. We vote on them. More recently, we purchased a noun together with a bunch of people and formed Ugly DAO.
Yeah, Ugly DAO.
So we own a fractional part of a noun, and she'll be working on projects there with me and other people as well. It's just been a crazy 6 months journey.
I guess that's probably a good chance for little Perp to say a couple of things too. Like what is it that you like about nouns, and what are you working on at the moment?
Hi. I'm Little Purple Blueberry, and I'm 12 years old, but tomorrow I'm turning 13.
Woo!
I'm really excited to be celebrating my birthday with you, and plus I get to take 2 days off school. I love how nouns are pixel art because it's a lot easier to draw since I'm not really good at drawing. I also love how everything is CC0 because everyone can use each other's art and build on it.
They're a bit big, aren't they?
I also really love noggles because they're really easy to recognize, and I think the big guys are really cute. The people I've met are really nice and supportive, and they don't exclude me just because I'm a kid. I like learning about different proposals and how creative people are with the Nouns brand. And I like to create NFTs because I love ETH, and my dad said it's going to be worth more when I'm older.
To the moon.
It's down so bad at the moment. Right now I'm working on my own collections. I just finished my 4th project, which is called Axe Little Friends. I'm also helping Ugly DAO with a project about introducing nouns to families. If I have time this summer holidays, I'm going to try and build my own auction project with Nouns.build.
Awesome. Well done. Actually, the fact you mentioned Nouns.build is interesting too. So if anyone wanted to have their own Nouns DAO, you don't actually have to be technical enough to know how to do it. There's a website called Nouns.build where you can just set the parameters you like and upload your own art. It can be any kind of art, doesn't have to be Nounish, and deploy a Nouns DAO and start building a community like ours. So it's cool that you mentioned that. It's a really good one. I guess this sort of brings us to this idea around storytelling, right? I think Little Purple Blueberry's a pretty good storyteller, don't you think? She did a really good job. She was super nervous, but the Swami has to get a Noggles tattoo now, so.
I'm nervous.
And his parents are here. Hello. So yeah, on the storytelling side, I thought it would be really good to hand over to Goldy, and then we can hear from Jarmen.
Cool, yeah. So I'm Goldy, and I've been kind of a bit of a nouns nerd from very early on. And what I want to talk about today is what I do as an example of what Gami was talking about of that anyone can build on nouns, and also like a comment that was made in the last talk for any of you guys that were in there, which was like advice of what you can be doing in a bear market, which is to like take the skills you have and find a way to apply them to be like working and building the next kind of wave of stuff. So like what's so awesome about nouns is that because it's utilizing the power of NFTs and the provenance to say these are the original nouns, all nouns wants is to be out in the world as much as it can be in the most positive, interesting, authentic way it can. So what Nouns wants to do with its treasury is give it to people who want to take that money and do something interesting with it. So, like, for example, my background is in filmmaking and commercial, like TV commercials is basically what my business has done for the last 10 years. So, you know, we're a production company. We tell stories, we make video products. And so myself and a Noun 142, we became friends. We were talking about what we thought Nouns needed, and we realized Nouns needs to be able to tell the story of the cool things they're building, all the cool things it funds. And so we decided, okay, we should propose to Nouns that the thing we will build is like a video production machine to tell all the stories about the things Nouns is doing. So what I've managed to do is like make this proposal. You know, I won't go through all the detailed history and the specifics, but in the end, you know, we made a proposal to Nouns DAO, said this is what we want to do, this is how we're going to do it, and we've been funded to, you know, have our business now focus on making something for Nouns. And you know, instead of making TV commercials, we're making videos. We're called Nounish. You can find us on like Instagram and Twitter and YouTube. And we tell the story. We try to answer the question, what is Nounish? Which is the word the community used to describe the essence of like Nouns culture and ethos. And we answer that question by telling stories about the things that Nouns fund. So Nouns has funded, you know, we named this newly discovered species of glass frog by donating to a rainforest trust. So there's a glass frog, you can look it up on Wikipedia, it's called the Nouns glass frog. I don't know how to say the Latin name, but you know, and we've, you know, sponsored skateboarders, you know, via NAS or built skate parks. You know, we've given away free prescription glasses to kids who need them. We've got famous artists to make artwork about Nouns. Like, we've spent the money on all these like really interesting things. And so what I get to do, and what I hope, you know, some of you guys do, and what we essentially hope everyone in the world can find a way to do, is to say, what's the thing that the skill that I have, or the thing that I like doing, or the thing that I can cross-pollinate with this world of NFTs and crypto, and like I can do that for Nouns. Like, so it doesn't matter what skill or, you know, we want dancers, we want filmmakers, we want like really technical people, you know, anything where you can understand what Nouns is and what we're about. A good way to do that is to check out all the Nounish footage or the Nounish videos. If you can think of something that you think is going to spread Nouns to the world in a way that's authentic to Nouns and authentic to you and leverages your own skills, that's what Nouns DAO wants to see, and that's what Nounish will make videos about.
Yeah, on the topic of Nounish and their success, you know, it was one of the biggest proposals that's ever happened in Nouns DAO. And like, not to bag on Jarmen, but we're both tradies in our previous lives, and you originally bought a Noun like for your brother, right? And then
So yeah, I just originally got peer pressured into bidding in some auctions, got out of hand, and I eventually threw in a large bid to win one. And I just delegated it over to my brother. He was going to use it. Sort of wasn't active in the community, so I commandeered it back, and here I am, sitting up here, working my way through.
And that was even after a proposal that your brother had worked on was unsuccessful, right? So like, even though there's lots of positivity here, some people do sort of miss out, but you've managed to turn that into this positive thing where you're helping to fund like smaller projects,
Yeah,
right?
so my brother's proposal was denied by the DAO, which led him to be a little discouraged, I guess. So I just took over, got involved, posted a few GIFs in the Discord, which sort of, and then I offered to help out with the small grants, went in there, obviously finding my way around the DAO. Pretty exciting stuff to see every day, and yeah.
I think like testament to Jarmen and like the situation he was in and his introduction to Nouns, it was very different to like a lot of us that have, you know, had like some really specific thing we were working on or whatever, and he sort of didn't really know where to fit. But that's actually been part of like your strength in the community, is you've been able to lend your skills and traits to other people. And you know, the fact we're here doing this is a big part of what you were contributing in the last couple of weeks.
Like, to be quite honest, I hadn't even joined the Discord or followed the Twitter, and I was just bidding in the auction for the fun of it. So, yeah, it took me a while to get into the Discord. It was probably a month or two after I bought one. But yeah, now I'm up here. We're in the noggles and speaking about it. But, you know, it's good. It changes your mind, because most NFT projects are like what that project can do for you, whereas Nouns is like what you can do for Nouns, which I think is really, really good.
Yeah.
I enjoy that.
Yeah, I guess on that point too, there's I mentioned earlier, there's a bit of a common misconception with Nouns. You know, the big prices scare people away. Like the first auction pulled in 613 ETH, right? So it was like pretty close to the top as well. So it was an expensive Noun. But some more recently have been around the 30 to 35 range. But the whole point is that it's not about the auctions, it's not about the values, and it's not about the money that's coming in on those auctions. It's about the fact that we're an inclusive community of very diverse builders. And I know on this stage right now it's all men except for little Bert, but in reality we have people of all different genders, we have people of different races, we have NAS Africa, we've got Nouns Africa, we've got people doing community work in different parts of the world that you would not even imagine to reach. Like we have inbound interest from Dominican Republic to replicate projects we've done in their communities, and places as far as you know, the far reaches of Europe and all through Southeast Asia. And I guess just to touch on something else from Bendodhi actually, with the work that he does in the Noun Square, it's attracted a lot of artistic talent. So especially from developing countries, where on the show they're sort of crowdsourcing talent and getting these artistic works contributed, and then we celebrate them. And you'll see a lot of the stickers and stuff that we've been handing out and the POAPs and everything. It's art done by our community, and they're compensated for what they do. So, yeah, if you wanted to add anything.
That's right. Like we're enabling these artists. So we do a contest, and then we find insane amounts of great artwork, and then obviously pay out winners and stuff. But then you've opened up a dialogue where you can then offer them other things to do, or try and get them funding through many of the different routes, help them go through small grants or through Prop House. Prop House is at prop.house, and you don't have to have a noun or anything to actually submit a proposal there. It's, for smaller amounts, anywhere from actually as low as quarter of an ETH at the moment for food nouns Prop House, but up to I think 25 ETH for different development mandates that have happened. But yeah, so there's a lot of different avenues for people to get in, and enabling people that typically would not have the opportunity to make any kind of money like that in this new digital world. It's been really important to me, because I think I don't know, it just makes everything like a fair playing. Like you've got internet, then you've got access to this stuff, you know. And I think the borders of national borders and governments and things can just, you know, you sort of blend all that flat again. You've got this nice playing board where everyone's in the same space.
See, this is why we give Ben the mic last. He knows I'm joking. We're good friends. No, but I know that we've only got a couple of minutes left. Is the only reason I jumped in with a bad joke. But how are we going for time, Greg? Maybe two more minutes. So Ben was sort of touching on this point of how funds are distributed and how people can apply to get funded for their ideas. And I guess we've got like 3 primary ways. There's small grants. I'm going to keep calling it small grants. I don't like that, you know. But small grants, it's essentially a committee of people you can submit an idea to. If they like it, they'll fund you with anywhere up to 10 ETH, is it?
There has been more.
Has been more, yeah? So maybe up to like 20. Yep, so anywhere from 1 to 10 ETH is very comfortable for small grants. And then we have Prop House, which is weekly rounds where we're funding anywhere from a couple of ETH right up to sort of the 20 ETH range as well, and having multiple winners. And that's kind of like you can imagine on Reddit, how you have upvotes and sort of the best stuff floats to the top and they get the money. And then the main one is on-chain proposals. So if you want to do something big that's in anywhere up to the 1,000 ETH range, we recently funded a proposal for about $1.6 million. And to do that, you just need to get in touch with someone who owns a noun, and we can sponsor those together and actually put those on chain and then go to the vote.
That's something you can do through Nouncil as well. Nouncil has, I think, 16 nouns delegated at the moment. So it's kind of a community of Nounish builders, about 106 builders altogether that all have built something Nounish who participate using those 16 nouns. So if you come with a good idea to the Nouncil even, then Nouncil votes and decides whether to put it on chain on your behalf. And then you can get funding through the DAO that way.
And that's probably the last thing we could say too, is the fact that we're here today and that we're a title sponsor and that we managed to convince Greg and some of his colleagues to wear noggles is because of a proposal. We did a proposal together. We all collaborated on that proposal and we got the funding to buy out the sponsorship position. It also funded the NAS sponsorship. You might see our tiny logo somewhere in the corner. It was a cheap one though, it's all good. And then, of course, we all travelled here to celebrate what it is that we do, and we're really thankful for everyone giving us the opportunity to share a bit more. And we just hope that you'll all come and ask us any questions that you have after the show. We're here until, I guess, the recovery brunch on Friday.
I'll be less nervous in person.
Yeah, Ben's much less nervous in person. But yeah, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who's here today. And if all of you could give specifically them a round of applause, because I've been a mic hog and sorry about that.